Hi everyone and welcome to practice. My name is Jenny and today I'll be guiding you through a practice which is great to do after you've gone for a run or a walk or maybe a bike ride. So for this practice, if you have 2 bricks, that might be helpful, but if you don't worry because I'll give you options to practice without. So let's get started by coming to the top of the mat. I'm going to stay facing you to begin with just so you can see a little easier, but you can come into your mountain pose at the top of your mat. So looking down at your feet, lifting up your toes, spreading the toes nice and wide, and then bring the toes back down onto the mat. Take a little softness through the knees, a slight tuck of the tailbone, and lifting up through your heart space as you roll your shoulders back and down. And if you're comfortable with it, you can close down your eyes. And just for a moment or two, let's start to bring that awareness and attention to the breath. So sometimes when we've been out running or doing exercise, our breathing can become a little dysfunctional. We might start breathing in and out through the mouth or panting a little bit. And that is absolutely fine in the short term. But when we finish our run or exercise, whatever we've been doing, it's really important that we come back into more regulated breathing. And so as you stand here, these first few moments of practice, just start to feel that smooth breath in and out through your nose. And if you can, with each breath, you're just making that breath a little bit longer. If you pay attention to the area of the tummy for a moment and just see if you can notice the inhale expands the belly outwards and the exhale draws the belly inwards. You could even place the hands onto the belly if that helps you connect with that feeling. So inhaling and exhaling. Good, and then bringing the hands down to the sides of the body, keep that breath going. With an inhale, take your arms forward and up. And as you exhale, circle those arms back and down. And let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, arms forward and up. And exhale, back and down. And last one, inhale, arms coming up. And exhale, circle those arms back and down. Good, this time, take those arms out as you inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, let those arms come out in front of you. And we'll do 2 more. Inhale, nice big breath, open out through the chest. And then exhale, arms come forward. And last one, inhale, arms out. And exhale, arms forward. Good, let the arms come down to the sides of the body. And with an inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers at the top, shoot the index finger up, and then exhale, side bend to your right. And we'll just take a couple of breaths there in that side bend. And it can be really interesting to notice for yourself what parts of the body feel tight after your run. So it's not always just the legs, it might be the shoulders, the back. Notice what you feel here. And then inhale, bring it back to center. And then same thing the other side, leaning to the left. Just feel that right side body opening, stretching, and just noticing, okay, where am I feeling tight in the body? And those are the areas that we try to breathe into through our yoga practice, through this stretch class. Inhale, bring it back to center. And then as you exhale, fold your way all the way down. So belly to thighs, release the top of the head towards the floor and bend the knees as much as you need here. I'm going to come to the end of the mat as you are right now. Now, for some of you, the back of the legs are going to feel real tight. And in that case, keep those knees bent. Work on bringing the belly to the thighs. For those of you that feel a bit more open in the back of the legs, work on straightening the legs, but see if you can keep that connection of belly and rib cage against the legs as you come into that forward fold with straight legs. And then you can stay as is with those arms hanging down, or some of you might like to take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and pull the interlace away from the lower back. So getting a lovely little shoulder stretch here in our forward fold. Keep pressing the feet nice and firmly into the mat. Couple more breaths here. Feel free to take a little gentle movement. That might be a slight twisting motion side to side, or a slight lifting of the chest away from the thighs and then back in. One more breath in where you are. If the hands are behind the back, bring them back down onto the lower back first, and then release the hands down towards the floor. With your inhale, hands to the shins, lift up halfway, engage through tummy muscles here. This might be where you grab hold of your bricks if you have them. And then as you exhale, your left foot will step back. You can drop that back knee to the floor. Now, if you don't have bricks, absolutely fine. You might find your fingertips easily reach the floor. Or if not, have your hands on your hips. So in our low lunge position, we want to feel a sense of the outer hips pulling in, so hugging in, a slight tuck of the tailbone, a pulling up through the pelvic floor, and then you're just gently leaning forward to feel a stretch in the front of that hip flexor, that left hip flexor. So that can be a little tight after running or a lot of exercise. So notice how it feels. See if you can keep lifting the chest forward and up as you allow the hips to drop down. Couple more breaths here. Good, and then we can work on moving into a half split here. So we're walking our hands back, and again, this can be done with hands on the floor or hands onto the hips. And we're seeing if we can straighten through that front leg. Now to begin with, see if you can keep the toes on the floor. Nice little stretch for the top of the foot here. That can get quite tight when we're doing a lot of running or walking. So a couple of breaths there, just seeing how that feels in your body. And then when you're ready to, you might need to slide that front foot a little further forward and then lift all 5 toes towards the sky. So we straighten out as much as we can through this right leg. Don't worry if it doesn't come fully straight. You might have a bend in the knee, that's fine. If you feel you need more of a stretch here, think about the position of your pelvis. The fronts of the hips, the hip bones, they go down as the tailbone moves back. And notice how that feels. Maybe that gives you a little bit of a stronger stretch in the back of that right leg. You could stay. You might find that you can go lower, so lowering the blocks, maybe bringing hands to the floor. And stay a little bit of time, especially if we're doing this after our run. We want to give the body time to stretch out, so no rushing through the poses today. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths here. And then to get into the outside edge of that right leg, one thing we can try is bringing our left hand to the floor. Maybe we can lift our right arm up. Nice little IT band stretch here. Some of you might be able to look up towards that top hand here. One more breath in where you are. Exhale, relax back down. Start to re-bend through the front knee. Walk those hands forward. And then tuck the back toe, lift that back knee off the ground and bring your left foot forward to meet the right foot. We're back in our forward fold. So you can work with bent legs or straight legs. Relax the upper body down. Maybe this time we hold on to opposite elbows, creating a nice little box shape around the head and a gentle release, rock side to side. Release the hands back towards the floor. Inhale, hands to the shins, lifting up halfway. Exhale, hands on bricks or all the way to the floor. Right foot steps back, drop that right knee to the ground. So lunge position with that left leg leading. Ground firmly into that left heel. Feel a sense that the outer hips are gently pulling in. And then we're trying to lift up through the heart space. So pull the heart forward. Let the hips gently drop down as we work into the front of the right hip. Keep those nice, long, smooth breaths going here. And this practice of yoga is much more about what we feel. So if you feel you need to back off, or you feel you need to go a little deeper, feel free to explore those options in your body today. Good, and then from there, let's work on straightening through the front leg. You can walk the hands back. You can have the hands on the bricks, on the hips, or on the floor. Start by trying to keep that left foot flat, so toes to the floor, stretching out through the top of the foot, through the shin. Couple of breaths into that. Good, and then we're going to work on lifting those left toes up. So you might need to slide the foot slightly further forward, lift all 5 toes to the ceiling, and you're working towards a straight leg. Now you might not have enough space to bring the hands all the way to the floor. So in that case, just come up a little higher. It needs a little bit of balance to have the hands on the hips, but we can work from here, and then we can just gently lean forward into that stretch of the back of the left leg. If you want more, think about tilting the tailbone. So tailbone back, hip points moving towards the floor, and the heart is still lengthening forward as the shoulder blades draw back and down. And if you want more from there, think about going lower, but keeping that nice amount of length in the spine as we lower forward over that front leg. And then option to add in a twist here. So right hand comes to the floor, left arm reaches up, and we should feel a nice stretch on the outside edge of that left leg here. Take a couple of breaths into that. It can be intense, so if you're feeling that, don't worry, me too. One more breath in where you are. Exhale, let the left hand find the block or the floor. And then start to re-bend through that left knee. Take your blocks out of your way. Fingertips to the floor, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee off the ground, step the right foot forward to the top of the mat. Forward fold one more time, and just notice, does it feel any easier now? Does it feel like you can get the knees any straighter? Maybe the belly can go a little closer to the thighs. Maybe the hands go a little closer to the floor as well. Now from there, one more flat back, hands to the shins, pull the heart forward, feel your spine lengthening. And then as you exhale, hands to the mat, walk your feet back. Let's find downward facing dog. So you want to have your fingers spread nice and wide. You might turn those fingers slightly out to the outer edges of the mat and press down firmly into your fingertips. From there, take a bend through the knees and see how much you can move your hips back. So we're lengthening through the shoulders and the spine. And then from there, without changing the position of your arms, see if you can gently start to work on straightening the legs. They don't have to straighten fully. And bringing the heels towards the floor. And they might be miles away from the floor, and that's absolutely fine. We work where we are. Some of you might like to pedal out your dog, just bringing one heel to the floor as you lift the opposite heel away from the floor. And we're going to be here for 3 more deep rounds of breath. So whether you choose to be still or whether you choose to take some movement in downward dog, see if you can rest your awareness and attention with your breath. Good. One more breath in where you are. Exhale, let the knees find the floor underneath the hips, tabletop position. Shoulders stacking above the wrists, little engagement of tummy muscles, and then cat-cow. So let the belly drop, let the heart pull forward, lift the chin. Exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. 4 more rounds like that. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the heart forward. And exhale as you round it out. 3 to go. Inhale, arching the back, look forward. And exhale, round through your spine. Maybe you do these last couple of rounds with the eyes closed. Inhaling. And exhaling. Last one. Good, and then bring yourself back into a neutral spine. And toe squat. So you're tucking your toes underneath your feet. And for some of you, you might need to keep your hands on the floor here. Some of you might be able to start to walk the hands closer to the knees. And you could even just try and get even that little toe tucking underneath here. So we're getting a good stretch in all the toes. Now, for many of us, this can be intense. So do your best, stay with it as much as you can. You might bring the hands to heart center. And just in the same way as when we are running, we hit moments of discomfort. This is also true in our yoga practice. And so knowing that the result of this is always going to be something positive. So can you just stay with the discomfort in the moment? Here for 3 more rounds of breath. If you wanted a little bit more, you could try just gently leaning your hands back. Good, and then when you're ready to, bring yourself out. Hands come out in front, release your toes, and pitter-patter those toes onto the ground. Should feel nice to do that. Give the toes a little wiggle, and then see if you can sit back onto your heels. So also, as well as stretching the toes, it's a good idea when we're doing a lot of running to keep the ankles nice and flexible. So this next movement can help with that. If you're already feeling a stretch in the ankles, just stay where you are. And if you want more, see if you can bring your hands behind you and then try lifting the knees away from the ground. It's going to feel like probably quite a good stretch in those feet. See if you can stay with it, just breathing where you are. And if it's too much, come out, come to child's pose. Do something that feels nourishing for you in this moment. One more breath in. Exhale, come back to the knees. And then back to tabletop, hands out in front. Lift up the feet and then just circle the ankles a few times. So a few circles in one direction and then a few circles in the other direction. Good, and then sit back, relax onto your heels. So let's take our right arm up in the air here. Bend the right elbow, bring the hand between the shoulder blades. And then one option is to take your left hand to the right elbow to see if you can deepen the stretch in your tricep here. You could stay, this might be enough. Or you can take your left hand out to the side, rotate the palm to face back, and then slide that left arm up the spine. The hands may connect, but don't worry if they don't. And really nice option, if the hands aren't connecting, is to make fists and press the fists into your back. And so this is going to help us build flexibility and strength all at the same time. So a couple more breaths here on this side. if you are connecting at fingers here, releasing that, taking the arms out to the sides, and then we'll switch sides. So left arm is coming up. We can bend that top elbow. Right hand might come to the elbow just to deepen into that tricep stretch here. And then right arm out to the side. Rotate the palm to face back and slide that arm up towards the other one. You can make fists and press those fists into the back, or perhaps some of you are able to connect through fingertips here. And if you are connecting your fingertips, rather than just making this a very passive movement, see if you can just gently pull the arms away from each other to make it a little bit more engaged. So a couple more breaths here. Good, releasing the hands. You can take those arms out to the sides and then release the arms all the way down. And then from here, we're going to make our way down onto our back. So come to lie down onto the back. Hug the knees into the chest, maybe a gentle rocking side to side on the spine here. And then you can drop your feet down to the floor with the knees bent and the heels relatively close to the tailbone. From here, take your right foot, cross that over the left thigh, and let that right knee gently press away from you. I'm also keeping my right foot flexed here. Reclining pigeon pose. This might be enough, you can stay, or some of you might like to lift that left foot off the ground. And you can work in an active range of motion here, just gently pressing that right knee away from you as you press your left thigh into the right ankle. Or some of you might want to take the hands just behind that left thigh. Or perhaps, if the flexibility is there, loop the hands around the left shin. So we're getting into the hips here, which obviously are key for our running practice and often an area that we can feel a lot of tension in after running. Keeping that breath nice and slow, nice and deep, and sending the breath down to those spaces in the body where you feel tension or tightness. Taking one more deep breath in where you are. As you exhale, let the left foot find the floor. Take the left hand to the right ankle. And if that's not available for you, just do this without holding onto the ankle. But then if we've got hold of the ankle there, we're going to let our right foot and left thigh drop to the left side. So I'm keeping that right foot flat on the floor, and I'm still holding onto the ankle here. And then I'm going to try and draw my right sit bone back down towards the floor. So it will be lifted, but there's a sensation of feeling of drawing back down. And then I'm just gently pressing that right knee away from me to really feel that stretch in the outer hip. With the right arm, maybe we take that out to the side here. Good, and then releasing hold of the ankle. Let that right leg stack on top of the left leg, and then bring both legs back up to center. We'll take these two poses on the other side. So left ankle crossing over right thigh, right knee, right thigh. Left knee gently pressing away. If this is enough, you're going to stay here. If you want more, you can lift that right foot off the ground. You could stay in the active range here, just pressing the left knee away from you as the right thigh presses against the left ankle. Or some of you might go for that loop behind the right leg. That could be the right thigh, or it could be the shin. And you might find that one side is completely different to the other, so you might need to take a slightly different variation on this side. Couple more breaths here. One more breath in. As you exhale, right foot back to the floor if it's lifted. And then right hand taking hold of left ankle if that's available for you. Left foot and right thigh falling over to the right side, and I'm keeping that left foot flat on the floor and the knee pointing up towards the ceiling. And then I'm just going to feel the sense of the left sit bone drawing back down towards the floor. I'm also going to feel that left knee gently pressing away to increase the stretch in the outer hip or outside edge of that left leg. Also the option here to expand that left arm out to the side like a wing. And then you can release hold of that left ankle. You can stack the left leg on top of the right leg and gently swing the legs back up to center. Try walking your feet a little wider than the hips, maybe as wide as the mat. Take both arms out to the sides and try bending the elbows 90 degrees, backs of the hands still touching the floor. And then a couple of windshield wipers here, so just let the knees fall to the right and then back to center, and then fall to the left and back to center. And as the knees go right, maybe you look to the left and then back to center, and then knees to the left, look to the right and center. And we'll do one more each side. Find a rhythm with your breathing that feels right for you here. Good, and then when you get back to center, extend the legs long, feet going towards the corners of the mats, toes dropping outwards. Bring the arms to the sides of the body, palms facing up. And try closing down your eyes as you just take a moment or two to let all the benefits of this practice integrate into mind, body, and soul. And if you have time to stay longer today, please feel free to stay as long as you need. But if you are ready to get on with your day, with your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead, bring your feet together, take a full body stretch. And as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe forehead towards your knees, give yourself a big hug. And then you can rock and roll yourself up into a final seated position. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to get in touch. Namaste.